Hello, and welcome back to Math Explained. This video is about the order of operations, also known as PEMDAS, or Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. So Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally is just, it was an acronym obviously, it's just a way to remember the order of things that you have to do when solving a math problem. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and write out what these are. So the first one, the P stands for parentheses. So usually we think of this as just like straight up parentheses. This could also be brackets. Some people also call this grouping symbols, and we get to that in later videos, but like for a fraction, for instance, let's say you had something wild and crazy like x plus 2 over 3. When you have a fraction, the stuff in the top or the bottom is kind of like, this is an understood parentheses. There's no parentheses on there. But it has to be treated as though it's a solid group. Like you can't just cancel one thing like that. Those don't cancel anyway. But you can't just cancel pieces of it. Everything in this top part is kind of like in a parentheses. So that would kind of be included in this first one, which is parentheses. The next one, our E, stands for exponents. That one's pretty straightforward. If you have something raised to the power of something, you would do that next. The next one, the M, is multiply or multiplication. The next one is division. The next one is addition, and then subtraction. Those are the order that you do problems in. The order in which you do problems, whatever. This is why I don't teach English. So this isn't just, like, it's not done for fun. It's that these are the things that you have to do in this order in order for the math problem to come out right. You could think of this kind of like if you're cooking, right? If you want to make scrambled eggs, so here, let me demonstrate while I'm not an art teacher. Okay, here's an egg. You wouldn't take your scrambled egg and, like, if you want to scramble an egg, you wouldn't go over here and, like, let's say, here's my egg. You wouldn't take my egg and put it directly into the frying pan, right? So here's my frying pan. Ta-da! Super artistic. You have to crack it first, right? You crack the egg, you put it in the frying pan, but really you would probably want to heat the pan first. So you heat the frying pan, and you crack the egg, then you put the egg in the frying pan. There's an order of things that you have to do. You can't put the egg whole in the frying pan and expect it to be normal scrambled eggs unless there's some like wild and crazy technique on TikTok that I haven't found. But yeah, there's an order that you have to do things in, and math is the same way. And the order that we follow in math is our little Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS. So I'm just going to keep this over to the side. So if I had something like this, let's say I had x plus 3 squared plus 2. Or instead of x, I'm going to make this a number. That way we can you can see it better. Okay, so we have 4 plus 3 squared plus 2. Well, okay. Well, if I didn't know any better, I would just, I might add these two up, like 4 plus 3, and then square that, and yeah. But I don't want to do that, right? I have to follow PEMDAS. So PEMDAS says I'm going to do my parentheses first. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm going to look at this by itself. So 4 plus 3 squared. Well, in this case, I can't take 4 and add it to 3 because that's not the right order. My next order with my PEMDAS stuff is that I have to do my exponent. So I need to do this first. So 3 squared is 9. So I have 9 here. So then I go 4 plus 9. Well, that's 13. Okay, so that I'm going to put right here. So this then I can now continue. It would be 13 plus 2. And so that would give me 15. So you go in the order that PEMDAS says to go in. So like, let's say another example. So here's my PEMDAS over here. Let's say you have 2 plus 3 squared plus 5 plus 6 divided by 3, and all of that over 2. Not sure if this is going to work out evenly. We'll just pretend. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Well, so the first thing I do is I go, okay, well, I can't just attack all of this at the same time. I need to go in order. So my first thing I need to look at is my parentheses, so that's here. So I'm going to add those first. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So now I'm going to say 5 squared plus 5 plus 6 over 3 divided by 2. My next one is my exponent. Well, actually, theoretically, since we said that this whole top part of the fraction is like an understood parentheses, I have my exponent. I'm going to do my exponent anyway because that's next in line. After that, I have like a couple of different divisions, but I'm going to concentrate on the top part first. But let's do our exponent first because that's our next in line anyway. Okay, so my next in line is my exponent. So I'm going to do this part. Well, 5 squared is 25. Let me shrink this because I got wild and crazy and made it too big. Okay, let me move this over. Okay, so 5 squared is 25. So now I have 25 plus 5 plus 6 over 3, and all of that divided by 2. Okay, this is where the parentheses thing comes into play. So I can't just take this 2 and, like, say divide these 2, right? Number 1 is going to give me, like, a decimal. But also, I can't do that because if something is in the top part of a fraction, that's an understood grouping symbol. That has to be treated as a solid unit. And I can't do anything with that unless I do the whole thing first. So, okay, get all those out of the way. So I'm going to do the top part. And in the top part, so if I'm just looking at this right here, I need to do this first because in PEMDAS, division comes before addition. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I'm going to say, okay, I have 25 plus 5 plus 2 divided by 2. So I still have stuff up here, so I need to do that part next. So then I'm going to pull this up here because I ran out of room. I have 25 plus 5 plus 2. So 25 plus 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32. So I have 32 up top, and then I have 2 in the bottom. So now this is my last thing that I have left to do, so all I do is divide those. So 32 divided by 2 is 16. And that's my final answer. So the whole thing with PEMDAS is it just tells you the order. It's kind of like your math recipe. It tells you the instructions and the order that you have to do things in for it to work out. Because if you don't do it in the right order, you get a funky answer that's not right. Okay.